Okay, we are live. Welcome, Mr. Snell.
Thank you. Danke.
Yes, du bist sehr willkommen.
Yes.
But let me introduce you. We have here today a very special guest. There's Mr. Michael G. Snell, and he is a very passionate person with the team design, and he will tell us everything about that. He is the one telling people how to clothe well, how to use the right clothes. He is also the one making decoration everywhere he comes. And I hope you read everything we wrote about him. And now we have like a half an hour or 40 minutes talk. If you have questions outside, just drop some to us and I will try to give him back. What I have to say is that he's coming again to Europe. Now he's in German, but living in the Netherlands. No? Holland is the place you were living now, right?
I that is where I will be living. In
Yeah.
the very near future I will be living.
Okay. So he was in Germany once and then he went to Hawaii. I have some questions about this too. And he works for the US government. That's why he's traveling this much. But we are glad that this time we get him here. Perhaps next time he will be live here with us, and this will be completely nice. So, good evening. How are you doing? Are you okay with jet lags and all these things? Do you have back on you?
Yes, I am. I finally got my first full night of sleep. I want to say was Friday night or Friday night. I think it was Friday night. I slept through the entire night for the first time since I've been here.
Like a
So
baby, Michael.
yes, well, the problem hasn't been going to sleep. The problem has been staying asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in 1 week it will be our story and you will be in your new place, and you are now in Aachen, you told me, but you used to live in Hecklingshausen. Is this right?
Yes. Yes.
So did you visit your people there? Did you saw
Yes.
this wonderful place you
I
decorated in a wonderful way?
yes, I have. I visit some of my old neighbors. The, they were glad to see me. Then I went to one of my favorite restaurants in Recklinghausen. They were glad to see me, and then I took a short drive to a small city called Morrill. That's where I visited my brother Reiner Post. He's a older gentleman, slightly older than me, but he's battling brain cancer,
Oh,
and is getting the best of him. Is getting the best of him. So I made it. I made it a special privilege to make sure that I got here in enough time. And he was one of the first people that I wanted to go see once I arrived here in Europe.
and what did you eat in your favorite German restaurant?
Oh well, I think the gentlemen are from Syria. It's called Lataki. Lataki is a Turkish or Arabic
Okay.
style restaurant. Um, and they, to me, they make some of the best fried chicken. Some of the best fried chicken I've had. They have a lot of things on the menu. I've tried a few things at their restaurant, but my go-to is their fried chicken. It is delightful.
I have to say to you, because this is all the thing about how special you are,
Yeah.
because you are the American man coming
Yes.
to North German to
Yeah.
a Arabian restaurant to eat fried chicken.
Yes. So
This is not the
there's
all-day
been
thing, you know.
it's been two or three occasions where I've gone somewhere. So I lived in Korea for 6 years. Korea also makes some of the best fried chicken I've ever had. And then I moved here to Germany, living in Recklinghausen, and I happened upon this restaurant, and I was like, wow. This food is good. So yes, American testing out European. Hey, Ken.
Yeah.
Ken.
So
Hi,
your
Ken. How you
friends
doing?
need to appear here.
This is my other cousin Tammy. Tammy's also she's part German, part American. She's here visiting in Germany right now.
When is Michael coming to Bayern? Okay, people in Bayern wants to know this too.
Yes, that's where my family lives. I have a my cousins live in Bayern. I have a cousin that's a famous tattoo artist here. In the Bayern area or the Bavaria area. The city is called Prime.
Oh,
Um, so that's the city she lives in. That's where her studio is. It's called Harborside. I think it's Harborside Tattoo, something like that. But she's a very famous tattoo artist here. And then Tammy is the older sister. Her and I were in the military together. And that was her husband Ken. Ken. They're in. So Tammy's in Bayonne now, but Ken and his daughter, and I think their son also coming as well.
okay. Oh, very nice story. So you like to be here in Europe? Because
I enjoy Europe, but there's a there's a mixed emotions there. So initially, when I'm walking around Europe, initially a lot of the Europeans look at me as if I am a African refugee. That's the first impulse. They look just off of my complexion. They assume that I'm a refugee. But then once I either
do you feel in this way? You know what makes this different or mixed for you? Do you feel discriminated?
I don't feel I don't feel the discrimination. What I feel is the uncertainty is what I feel.
Oh, okay,
Um, and
understand.
so the discrimination feeling that we as Black Americans normally feel in America, that feeling that I feel there is not the same that I feel here. Because usually, once I open up my American mouth and I start talking or asking questions or I'm paying for something, then they're like, "Oh, this guy, he's an American." Then the approach, the look, kind of changed. And I think this is all part of the political situation going on with immigrants coming into in Europe. But I see that Europe requires about 400,000 immigrants to come into Europe and work. I should say Germany requires about 400,000 immigrants to come here and work to sustain their economic footprint.
Yeah, it's a very difficult and long talk. If you talk about that, I
It
am a
is.
Brazilian woman working and living here since more than 30 years, and there is this times and that times. But this thing about judging people how they look or how they assembly the skin or so, it's something that we should latest now know that it's not something that you can rely on. I have a lots of Nigerian Nigerian blood on me, and you cannot see that. And
Yeah.
all these things are more. I have also Scandinavian blood, what I never thought would be possible, but I had this too. And so if you make this in all people, you will see that this is a thing. We are so mixed. uh, Meanwhile, we are so mixed that there is no thing. But let's go to your passion. This is why you
Yes.
were here.
Yes.
So how did you come to this passion to dress people?
Well, it started when I was active duty military. I was an Army officer living with my family at the time. I was married, now divorced, but I was living in Korea, and my the audience that I had there, what I was seeing was a very poor representation of how men should be dressing,
Okay.
how we should be presenting ourselves. My grandfather, very seldom did he leave the home unless he was going to work looking unprofessional. Now I understand people dress down, tennis shoes, gym pants, track suits. I get all of that. But once we started this disease that plagued the world at one time, that sagging of the pants, that was the disease I was trying to eradicate by presenting something more acceptable to society, by letting young men know that there's a different way, there's a better way to present themselves, and to understand that you never really get a second chance to make a first impression. So henceforward, I started I started going to my Korean tailor. I have always had a passion to design clothes, but calling yourself a clothing designer in America requires a lot of money, a lot of resources. But in Korea, I was able to design whatever came to my mind, whether that was shoes, um, tuxedos, pea coats, overcoats,
How long
suits.
you were in Korea?
I was in Korea for 6 years.
Yeah, but how long you stayed there?
6 years.
Oh, it's a lot of time. Do you speak some Korean?
Chokum. I speak a little bit of Korean. It's a little bit of conversational pieces here and there, enough to ask for something to eat and how much something costs. I can navigate that, but I would I got spoiled because where I was living was the capital of Korea, which was Seoul.
So,
And there you had a lot of people who either spoke English, a lot of Koreans that
yeah.
spoke English, and they spoke English because America has been in Korea for 60 plus years. So I wasn't forced to learn the language.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this is a problem for all American and England people all over the world. You know, most people they learn this on school. At least they can make some conversation. It's easier that you go to the English before you begin to learn difficult language like
Yes.
Korean or German or
Or
Holland.
Dutch. Yeah.
It is they are not very easy language, no? And but
No.
6 years is a lot of time, and I know that in Korea there is a very deep sense of mode, no? Of fashion, of the
Yes.
way. It's different than German, it's different than Brazil, it's different than the US. And I think that you can make lots with clothes. And I think you did this experience. Otherwise, you would not be doing what you're still doing, right?
Yes, I've noticed just here, this short period of time that I've been here, and when I was here the last time, I saw how influential the African American culture has swept across the world. The influence of the style, or what we call the swag that a lot of Americans have, particularly in the hip hop, the R&B industry. I
The
see how
color.
that, yeah, I see how that has morphed into an everyday dress for people all around the world, and it's refreshing to see that will also break down some of the racial barriers or stereotypes that some people have toward other people due to the complexion of their skin. So I use clothes, I use style, and I use fashion as a gateway to create conversation to eradicate some of the stuff that we're dealing with in society today.
How did you find? Did you let some of these clothes? Do you design it and let some people make it? Do you
Yes.
find it in the stores and you say, "I wanted to buy this to combine with these other ones"? How is the process
Okay, the
that you have
process
to
the
look
pro- the
to?
process is like this. So when I was coming up as a young man, um, I wasn't I wasn't wealthy. I wasn't wealthy at all. So I would look through these magazines, Esquire, Detail Magazine, GQ, and I will always see the little small fine print. This jacket is $2,500. In my head, I was like, I'll never be able to afford that jacket. So, or that blazer. So now I was always, so what I did,
Small black
I
one, the
yeah,
small
I
black
took
blazer.
I took I would go to like the army surplus. I would go to the this the we have like secondhand thrift stores in America. As a young high school male, I would go there. I would look at that picture in a magazine, and then I would go to the surplus store, or I would go to that thrift store, secondhand store, and I was like, hey, this pattern is similar. So now, once I got to Korea, I was able to go to the fabric house, look at the fabric that I wanted, choose the fabric, and design from the beginning to the end on how I wanted that garment, how I wanted that suit, how I wanted those shoes. Having your own cobbler allows you to make. There's not a shoe I can't make. There's not a suit that I can't make. The only limitation that I have is up here. Now, sometimes when it comes to fabric, the fabric could be difficult because if a major brand um, goes out and they purchase a fabric from the fabric house, that brand has proprietary over that fabric for a period of time. Then once that period of time is over with, now that fabric house will open up that fabric to the general public, allowing everybody to have that, to be able to purchase that fabric. So that is how, when you have your major brands, how they're able to have something and hold on to it for a while, unless they also have the capability of purchasing the entire fabric from that fabric house, so they own that fabric totally outright. But usually, the fabric doesn't the stay of that fabric, the longevity of it is not that long. So most of your major brands would not buy the whole spool of that fabric. They would just own the rights to the fabric up until a certain period of time. So I would take something, I would design it, I would send it to my master tailor, I would send it to my cobbler, who's the person who makes my shoes for me. I would send my glasses over to, because I have business partners all over. So I would send my glasses over, or design of the glasses over to China. My business partner in China would do it. Or I would send them the design over to my business partner in Turkey, and he would do what he needs to do. I would send the fabric or design of a clothes to my master tailor in Korea, and he would do what he needs to do. So what I did was, and a lot of people were saying, well, why don't you have an Amazon page? What I do is custom made. I don't do what I make everything specifically for your body measurements for you.
Yeah.
So I use the mold of the business plan of Amazon. I use a business plan of Uber, where they don't own. At one time, this is
Yeah,
years
sure.
ago, they don't own. They're just distributors for those items. So that keeps my overhead down, and as well as I'm not stressed to sell anything.
So
So if I don't, go ahead.
tell us a bit about this process. How can someone get to you? So
Sure.
I want to, not me, a young man or
Yeah.
a older man. He wants to change his style. And now we are talking here, and he says, "Wow, maybe this man is the right one for me to make me clothed rightly up to now." How is the process? The people has to go to your Instagram, to your homepage, and make contact to you, and then you have a kind of counseling, or
Yes.
how is this process? Like, tell
Okay,
us.
the process is like this. I do have a website. So on my website, you're able to download the measurement chart because measurements are critical.
You can
Whatever
do
you
this
have on,
online. Okay,
say again. Yes, everything
you
is
can do
online.
this online. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So if I'm in your city and you want to have like a suit party or something like that, I can travel to a particular city. If you have like 10 or 15 gentlemen willing to spend a certain amount of money on suits. So let me take a step back. Part of this process is to, number one, educate men on budgets.
Uh,
I would rather not sell you a suit if you can't afford to buy that suit. I would
What's
rather
my
you,
next question?
yes, I would
How
rather you
affordable is this?
it is, I am affordable, but I'm not cheap. So, but what I don't want someone to do, I don't want someone to buy a suit from me and turn around the next month and they don't have money for rent, or they don't
Yeah.
have money for their light bill, or they don't have money for their car payment or food or whatever it is. So the first thing that I ask the individual, I'll ask him, what is your monthly, quarterly, or annual clothing budget? And if you cannot articulate to me what that is, we're taking some steps back, because now we need to talk about financial literacy. We need to talk about planning. We talk about budget before we even talk about buying something.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, I use clothes as a vessel to communicate. The clothes are just there to spark conversation, and the reason why I'm doing that is to create dialogue between men on how or why or when did some of us become so dysfunctional when it comes to being men.
Okay, this is this, but which are your normal client, or what is the profile for of your normal or average client?
My profile for my average client is right now it's about a gentleman in between the age of 29 and 37, someone who is either just graduating from college, probably with their master's degree or PhD, that want to strike out into the world, and create a look for himself, a very professional look. Now, that budget that we're talking about, that a suit could cost you anywhere from $600 all the way up to $3,000, based on the type of fabric you're looking at. You're looking
Are
at
you
Laura.
doing weddings? So wedding.
I do weddings. I've done weddings in the past for the groom and all the groomsmen. I've done all that before, and so I've been in business now for 12 years. So it's not like I've just started out. I don't promote my business as much anymore, because when I got to Hawaii, of course, Hawaii wasn't a place where a lot of people like to dress. It's more like your linen, your
Yeah.
seersucker, your
Oh,
poplin,
it's
a lot
so
of tank tops and polos. That's the Hawaiian way. Your Hawaiian shirts. So there wasn't really a desire for and not all of Hawaii, but the part of Hawaii that was living in, there wasn't a deep desire for men to dress professional. Professional for them was a collared shirt and some slacks. That's professional for them.
for someone that lived in Korea. How was to live in Hawaii? You were like
Okay,
a year there, right?
I was Hawaii is a very you pay for the air in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yes, Hawaii is a very expensive place to live in. I know a lot of people in Germany that probably can't relate to it, or maybe not. But in Hawaii, when a lot of people travel there on the tourist wise, they're not really focused on how much money you're spending. You have a budget, you're going in, you're just having fun. You're going to be there for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Whatever
okay.
finite amount of time that you plan to be there, that's all you worry about. But when you're living there and you're paying $10 for a gallon of milk, not, 10 US dollars for a gallon of milk. You're spending $7 for a bag of Frito Lay's chips. You're spending $20 for a meal at Burger King or McDonald's. That starts to add up.
Okay, I
So
understand. I am so sad now because you know that I play the ukulele and I have these dreams to know Hawaii and to go there.
going there is different. You can go there, but just be realistic when you go there. Understand that, you know, Hawaii is solely based off of tourism. I'm not here to talk negative about any place. Every place has good and bad parts of it.
Okay.
You ask me for my opinion, and I'm just giving you my honest opinion on what I saw how when I lived there.
Did you know that the city we're going in the Netherlands?
Yes, I'll be working and living somewhere around the Eigershoven area.
Okay. This is pretty near from the limit from the frontier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
15 minutes, I can drive 15 minutes in one direction, I'm in Germany. 15 minutes in another direction, I'm in
Yeah.
Belgium.
Yeah. So
Yes.
you are pretty near. You are probably more in Germany than in Hecklinghausen.
Yes, yes. I'll probably, but of course, here in Germany, things close on Sundays. So when I lived in Recklinghausen, I would drive. A lot of my colleagues and I, we would drive up to this city in the Netherlands called Insteda. Insteda, I think is how you
Okay.
pronounce it. So we would drive there. We'd go to restaurants. We would do a little, additional shopping for stuff that we made. And of course, the language barrier was very limited there. So a lot of people in the Netherlands, they do speak a little bit of English. The
Yeah.
majority of them do speak
Mhm.
English. So it helped us expats a little bit more living in Germany to take a trip over to the Netherlands.
So, okay, perhaps you can take your motorcycle and come to the south, and you can visit your cousin and come through Stuttgart, and we can make this what we're doing now live. But I have another very special question. I put
Yes.
this down. Now, you have a very, very famous and he has a group at Facebook. The name is stated here, Gentleman vs. Swag,
Swag. Yes.
and there are 30,000 men there. So now I want you to talk about that and tell us what 30,000 men talk about without a single woman inside.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
I
Can
are
you hear
you?
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So the Gentleman versus Swag group. So how that was started, I started posting what I designed in the group, which every day I would come home, I would get out of my uniform, my military uniform, I would change into something that I designed, and I would go out to eat dinner. I would take my kids out shopping at the time, or take my ex-wife. We would go like do something in the city. So people started paying attention to what I was wearing. So I would take photos, I would post, and then that group just grew. Went from 1,000 to 5,000, 5 to 10,000, 10,000 to 15,000, and now we're sitting at around 30,000 men. So it used to be a co-ed group. And I know a lot of females, a lot of women were like unhappy that I made it solely a male only group, and I did that for the purpose of having a safe place for men to come in, have a conversation, be vulnerable with their conversation in a very masculine way without having a female interject her opinion, because we're looking for male opinions about whether that's dealing with finances, relationships, raising kids, deciding to have a kid, deciding to be a stepfather, to start deciding on
Sure
job
thing.
changes, health. We go
Why
through a
not?
small.
There's a lot of women groups
There's a
and we can
lot.
do the
There's a lot of
same.
places for
So,
women to go, but for men, all places where we can go have been shrunk. We used to be able to go to the golf course to bond with other men. We can't anymore. We used to be able to go to a cigar lounge. We can't anymore. So there are not very many places that men can go and just socialize and be amongst men, have manly conversation about life. So I made a conscious decision to, excommunicate women from the group. There's probably still a few that's straggling that we haven't collected, haven't found yet. But we have our way of trying to, weed those individuals out. But the group now is, we have all of these conversations about dating today. You know, what type of woman are we looking for? Um, do we want to have kids? What type of fathers are we going to be? Do we plan to be? What are some of the life lessons that we've experienced that we can pass on? We talk about fashion. What colors to wear. I'm going to this event. What should I wear? We talk about hats. We talk about shoes. Whether I need to wear, whether the shoes are a semi-formal shoe or formal shoe. We talk about all those things that men that we used to have in a barbershop. These are called barbershop conversation, but we no longer able to have those conversations because now the barbershops, you have females in there cutting hair, you have salons in there, you have there's not a place where really and truly a man can really go and just really sit down and just have a dialogue.
okay, but you said also uh, key word. This is date, So you wrote me your I would say press release. You
Uh-huh.
wrote that in the first, and you said, "I am here with my motorcycle. I love to travel. Most I'm doing this alone, but I'm looking for female company, no, or
Yes.
nice." So this is a good platform that you say that. No? Hello, people around the frontier between Holland and Germany. There is a businessman, a designer man that knows a lot about clothes, and man wishes. 30,000 people talking about. I can imagine that is much more there than you told us.
Yeah, it is much more to unpackage than what I said because some of the conversations we have are confidential. But what I try to do when I come out on my public page, on my public, I would say my public Facebook page or my Instagram or my LinkedIn, I try my best to articulate to men, you know, from a male's point of view to females or to women what men are saying without giving them all the cheat code. I don't want to give, but the biggest problem that I've seen is the is communication. Communication amongst the between the sexes has become obsolete. We don't talk anymore. I'm also working on, as we speak right now, I am collecting information for my fourth book because I've already written three books. The three books that I've written is books to show
Nice
men.
that you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's an author too. He has three books about all the things he's saying. Yeah,
yes,
so this
the
is
three books is to
very
show men
important thing
how.
to say. Yeah.
Yes, the three books I've written so far are to show men how to dress, what patterns look good on you based on your complexion, the circumference of your face, your build. These are the books that I've written. Through trial and error, research. Because I'm a very astute person when it comes to research. I research, and then of course, I go through trial and error with testing out certain things. I'll be the guinea pig on a lot of. I test it out on myself to see if it works, if the color scheme works, or if it clashes. So I have a very intense Rolodex of information that I tried to provide to men in those three books. And the fourth book that I'm working on right now is a kind of like a journey of some of the do's and don'ts, ups and downs of being a male and what we call right now a female dominant world or less than male dominant world or just a male just living in this world we have today. How do we navigate around that world without
This
pouring
will
gas
be
on?
your new book.
Yes, I'm just starting out. I'm probably two paragraphs into the book. Right.
Okay.
But as I have a lot of notes of how I'm trying to compile, and I'm also taking conversations from my conversation I had with those 30,000 men. I'm taking some of their life lessons without divulging too much information. I'm taking some of their life lessons and I'm implementing that into the book too. Will it be finished this year? Probably not. Will it be finished next year? Probably not. But it's a work in progress. I'm in no rush to get it done because I don't have a suspense. I don't have a publicist telling me that I have to have it done by this time because I don't have an advance. So I don't have those pressures that most people have that are authors when you're self-published. I don't have all that to deal with.
Yeah. So you were not. Yeah, you were. Don't, you're not under pressure. But if
No.
you, when you are ready with this, let us know.
Okay.
So
I
we
will.
can make a show like this one talking about this, and
Okay.
it's nice. No? Your other three books, are they easy to find in
Yes,
Amazon? Or,
they're on
so
Amazon. If you can Google my name on Amazon, you'll find the books, Michael D. Snell. The books are called Dress Your Way to Impress, The Importance of Your Look, and the uh, Dress Your Way to Impress, The Importance of Your Look, and uh, God, Dress Your Way. I'm losing thought on the last topic, the last title. But anyway, they're
okay,
they're out they're out
you
there. I
point.
wrote those books almost a decade ago, so they've been out there for a while. It'll be great to be a number one seller, but that's not. Um, I'm not driven by dollars and cents. I'm driven more so by developing, cultivating people, building relationships, navigating this thing we call life, making sure that we can get through it as smoothly as we possibly can.
Yeah.
A proponent. I'm a very strong proponent of peace, and I've noticed throughout my time a lot of men sacrifice their peace for their family peace, and if that particular relationship breaks down, you see a lot of men, dysfunctional when it comes to that. So a lot of men, I'm not trying to divide up anything, but when we put our peace on the back burner for the sake of everyone else, we typically don't gain from that. We typically lose from it.
Understand your thought line. I
Yes.
understand it, and this is a very deep conversation that we unfortunately don't have the time to make
Yes.
here today, especially because the people doesn't know we have this game. I think it's beginning right now. Today is the last game from England
In
against
Spain.
Spain,
Yeah.
for the UEFA Cup, that we are all very frustrated. I am double frustrated because Brazilian and Germany are out, and so and the Brazilian did a awful presentation. German was a bit better, but was not really lucky. And my son was in the stadium when they lose, and it was a very sad experience for him.
Mm,
He is much more German than I know.
uh,
Anyway, I thank you very much that you made it, that you could make this time for us. I think there's lots of things that you do in your life, but the most thing to put it together for the people outside. Are you looking for a nice outfit? Please look for Michael G. Snell.
yeah. Yes.
Looking for a group to talk about your deep issues, go to the group. So thank you, Ken. I will put the name of the group again. So go to the Facebook and go inside this group, and you will see, and you have this um, brotherhood.
Yes.
I say that, or
Yes.
this,
You can call it a brotherhood, a manhood. Yes, you can call it
yeah,
that.
manhood.
A
Yeah.
clan. Let's call it a clan. Yes. Let's
Okay, you
call it
can
a
have
clan, a
this
family. Yes.
protected chief
Yes.
clan when you can go with your issues. And he wrote that he wrote that he likes to help people that struggle, and so you now know him, so you can look for him and find him in all these places in Instagram. He has the own homepage where you can see some of this costume pieces
Yes.
you look and do. I had the luck when you were here last time that you showed me with the camera this wonderful flat you had, that you make the whole decoration. Then we will talk about these ones. And you showed me also this closet, this
Yes.
place where all these one pieces that you wear yourself are. And it was really an amazing experience to know that there are men that do that, you know.
Well, the one thing that you mentioned that we didn't really touch on a lot is that I loved going. So even if a person can't afford to buy clothes from me, if they want me to go with them to do to purchase some items for
to
them, I
to
can be a fashion consultant. Say, hey, this will look good on you. Try this, try that. There's
you
also
when you go with a person, like a personal designer, that you go and you go
your
to
personal.
buy
I'll be like a personal shopper. I'll come along with him.
personal shoppers. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was looking
yeah.
for this word on my
Yeah,
mind.
don't worry about it. I got it. So the personal shopper piece. So I have so many different facets of layers that how I navigate. But one thing that I did notice here, a lot of men also struggle here in Germany with their flats. So uh, designing interior design, by still having masculine energy, but also being able to create a space, a safe space in your home that's warm and inviting with that how energy flows through your place. That's another thing that I really find, a lot of passion about, helping men create their own personal space off of what they can afford. And I didn't spend a lot of money on what you saw. That wasn't spending a lot of money. I did a lot of that on Facebook Marketplace. I did buy some items new, like my bed and stuff was new, mattress new. The My furniture was new because I don't like sitting on other people's stuff. But some of the chairs, some of the artwork, some of the outdoor patio furniture, all that stuff was pretty much purchased through Facebook Marketplace.
Did you have did you saw your new flat? Do you
I
know
have
where
not.
you live, or you didn't choose yet?
I haven't chosen yet. I've went to visit one place.
Okay.
It wasn't large enough for me, and it has nothing to do with the American large standard. It's more so about having a place for my
European large.
clothes, having a place for a garage for my motorcycle, having a place where I'm not, you know, crammed into 90 square meters or something like that. I need something with a little more open space, which allow,
Spaciousness.
yeah, spacious. I'm looking for a spacious place.
You are American. You live though everywhere, but
No, that's not. That is not. That is not the. That's not the energy that I want to present. I'm just saying, I need to have at least one room for a family when they come to visit. They have somewhere to stay. I need at least another room just for my closet, and then I need a room for myself just to be there and to have for myself. And then from there, you can have your TV room, your living room, kitchen, all that stuff. Those things will come into play, but that's what's important because my motorcycle, it doesn't sleep outside. See,
did you brought her brought it? I say
yes,
her because
it is a her. She's coming.
you brought
She's
her
yeah,
in
she's
here.
on a ship now heading this way.
She's
I
coming.
yes.
No,
Yes, she's coming.
I will try to make the last question is, do you make all this mentorship, or as they said, or they wrote here style consultant? Do you do
Yes.
this too for women?
Well, when I was married, no. The reason why, because when you're a male in the fashion industry, you're dealing with females. There's a lot of possibilities. Not saying I'm trying to do anything or she. I just kind of when I was married, I left it alone. But
Oh, okay.
now that I've been divorced now almost 7 years, I can I can design anything for anybody, male or female. My preference is male because we don't really have a lot of good places we can go
Okay,
to buy
okay,
stuff. Females, ladies, they have a lot of places they can go to create their style. Men, we don't. We're limited.
okay. So I thank you very much. If you want to say anything, because you don't know exactly where you will be to find in the
Well,
next weeks. You know the town, and you are beginning a new job here again in a new country. It's in the frontier, but it's still being another country. So, but I I was showing all your addresses here,
hmm
and Michael D. Snell and Michael D. Snell Bipoke, uh, it's not hard to find. Are you available for people if they want to contact you in the next weeks?
yes, I am. If they reach out to me on one of those social media platforms, they can get in contact with me. If they need to arrange for me to meet them somewhere, everything, unfortunately, not wealthy, so everything has a cost associated with it. So if you want me to meet you in Oberhausen to do a consultation, understand that my time isn't free, but based off of what you need determines like how much I'm willing to to compromise and charge you for the help you're looking for. So on any one of those platforms, you have a way of getting in contact with me. You know, as they say in my hometown, I'm not hard to find. I'm easy to find. So if you're looking, if you're a male and you're looking for help in the world of style, If you're challenged with getting your flat design and set up like you need to be, if you having some problems with like just problems, you have a group to contact, to join, which is listed before, where you can come and join and just listen to men. And I would hope and encourage everybody that's in the group to speak up. Innocent bystanders don't get fed. So if the more you talk, the more you're going to learn. If you're just going to sit there and be a fly on the wall, you can grab onto some information, but interacting with people regardless of your language barrier is going to help you more.
It's nice. So you are all invited to know the work of Michael D. Snell. And I have some friends in Netherlands, and I will talk with you and often exchange all this information.
Okay,
And thank you very much to be
thank
here
you.
online for everybody. And I hope you make it someday that you come live, that we can do more things, perhaps show more things. And thank you again. And
No
I will
problem.
be going offline. And
All
yeah, I
right.
hope you all outside know now how to get to Michael. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.